What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. If I don't sound or seem like my usual self through this video, I've thrown out my back really terribly, hurt about as much as the kidney stones almost consistently. I was trying to tough it out, not go to the doctor, and my mom was like, you know there's stuff you can do about that, right? Shout out to Mom's icy hot patches that I forgot about because it's been so long. It's been years since I threw out my back. I guess I'm getting up there, an age-old ancient duelist whose tops are over a decade old. But this is not a medical channel. Always consult a physician on whatever routes you're going to take on dealing with something. And let's go ahead and get into today's market watch, starting with some Banlist pumping that's going on. I was looking through Banlist cards. It's about that time of the season. You have the Master Duel Banlist popping up, Yugi tubers making discussions on it, and Maxi, it's always going to be there on the conversation, right? But look at this. $1,200 sales multiple times, but there are listings for near mint English here, $850, $900. There's only one of two things that could be going on here. Somebody who thinks that paying more equals better grading, I trust this shop, whatever, or pumping on the market of trying to raise that market price and permanently raise what this goes for, which has already happened over time, right? These used to consistently sell for $300, then $450, then $550, $600, then $650, and you even see sales here on foreign ones now, which commonly go for much, much less than English print. Either Euro or USA English print tend to sell a lot better than foreign copies, and you still have cheaper ones listed here, right, that are near mint foreign, but now up towards $800. So it feels definitely like somebody's trying to pump the market on Max C, and that would be a very expensive pump still on that many copies if it happens to be that, because they're still going to take the fees from TCG player into account there, you know, around 10-13% or whatever it ends up being total. I usually calculate it 13%, just assuming between TCG and eBay. So yeah, with that many copies, that's 3, 4, 5, 6 in that price range, 2 play sets. Kind of crazy to actually look at, while other typical kind of targeted buyouts are at pretty much lows in the past, what is it, like year? Look at Thunder Dragon Colossus Ultimate Rares creeping down towards 73, 74. People finally stopped thinking it's gonna come off the list, or maybe just not that hyped for it anymore. I don't know, but this is definitely interesting to see the snapshot of this. And also Masterpiece, which you have the Draco Slayers on the horizon, those huge buyouts from a banner appeared looking people over there. If it comes off now, it's thanks to the Draco Slayers, I would imagine. But it also cooling down. Look at the Unlims back around 20. I think a first edition pops up around $23 at 100% seller just with low sales rates. And then another first ed's around 30 before they start to disappear a little bit. So they do have even a couple more at 30 there. But yeah, Masterpiece versus where it was at is definitely lower. And the graph seems a little messed up because the first ed has its down the market price. But a lot of them did sell for that down the rate, and people are starting to look like they're coming back to buying a bunch of these during the season. But it was low up till there, and it still is kind of low with one at 23 and the others at 30 versus where it was at. Then you have That Grass Looks Greener actually just consistently going up in price. Duelist learning to touch grass, but in card form. It really is almost therapeutic to play 60 cards sometimes in this game, though, isn't it? When we look at this, just crazy prices even versus the graph. The Unlims have gone, the first eds are also up there. The lowest Unlims start around that $23 mark. Let's find the lowest first ed, also 23 there, and then they start to line up from there. But yeah, up in price even versus the graph a bit, and the Unlims have been going. So yeah, the Banlist market having some interesting movement, but I would think that the Max C feels a bit like pumping rather than genuine sales, or somebody that just thought they were going to get more by paying more, which is something that we have to remember happens, but I smell something a little stinkier personally. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below of this kind of spending. Like, do you think it's just somebody who was a fool with their money soon to be parted, or do you think it's somebody trying to permanently raise the price on Max C ultis and bring it to the next level? Also, speaking of Banlist fears, Water Enchantress, Ultimate Rares, and Collector Rares are down bad. And if you're thinking swinging down bad on just this. Also, Rite of Armacyr, their collector rares are down pretty darn bad to where people are letting them go under the 90s as top-rated sellers, but they quickly do go up towards the hundreds. Friendly reminder, it also could be that people think a reprint season is coming for this, as Konami likes to cash in before, actually hitting stuff on the TCG list. But either way, they could hit this a little bit. And there's another piece of this engine highly slept on by a bunch of Duelist that is way down in price versus where it used to be, if you do think this engine is going to get hit, but yet continue to be able to be played. Get to the merch, John! Some of you all once in a while say that. Code What'sGood5 for 5% off, and to support the channel directly will get you 5% off at Stay Classy and support the channel on what is really awesome art. And I even love how they do the backs in that enamel, so you basically get to. They have their weapons off to the side, Shurag and Furjet. I really like it. And if you want a serialized pair that matches, they have those, or you can buy individually at $25 each without having to buy the pair if you just want the waifu or, the guy who's secretly from Spy Family. Also, on the non-sponsored merch, the Adidas Slides come with a gold medal, very heavy. It makes, do the sound, John? It makes the metal sound when you actually hit it on something. I had these sent in to me, pictures from other people, and I did confirm with multiple people they all got the left arm of Exodia. So Adidas over in the Philippines might be doing a different piece with each different slide that they end up doing. Apparently Kaiba's on the box, so he might be next, but very interesting. I really like it. It almost looks like the Toei version of Exodia to top it off. Maybe I'm a little crazy there, but I really love how it looks. Good job on them adding a little extra free collectible in there when they didn't have to, and kind of taking it to the next level on those. Primeval Planet is back down under triple digits. That was pretty fast after bonus bucks back, just a couple days. So let that be a lesson. If you're buying and you're scared that bonus bucks is going to permanently hype something up, sometimes it does, and we see that like Pot of Prosperity, but other times there are fluctuations where it still comes back down before it goes back up, and this is one of those times. So yeah, if you did spend triple digits without an incentive, you're already overspending, but it's still atop the set. Also, that Super Poly target, if you did those pre-orders at $5, good for you. You are over double on it versus the lowest, which are around $12. I do think that this is an interesting one, as sometimes Super Poly targets get way overhyped, but this just seems very solid, and a lot of Power of the Elements earlier on assumed value was in the ultra rares, and this is one of them that people really liked and is continuing to get that hype. Speed Duel Battle City boxes are rebounding up to the highest proportions they ever have been, maybe thanks to bonus bucks. Again, people genuinely like to bust the sealed and play with it, so it has that novelty on top of the random number generated RNG secret rares, where you pull, I believe it's the 3 god cards and 5 random secret rares out of the set. This is now a lowest of 73 before it's 75 into $80 quickly. Remember when you could have got those on sale over at tier 0? Good times, good times. I believe every single version of this box is Europrint too, just like the GX box, if I do recall. And when looking through here, there are quite a few interesting secret rares. I think this is actually the same tab. Yeah, look at me, live editing done cheap. But all of these are actually down from like their max buyouts for the most part, except I think Jinzo. A lot of the classics were spiked up higher. I remember this being like 18 at one point. Metaverse is actually at its highest though, maybe for the current format of its secret rare also being its max rarity way up there right now. So still targeted buyouts within the sets, things that have aged very well and will likely age even better. I guess people are just kind of speculating, but there's not really money back from combinations of pulls versus the sealed, but usually the sealed, as it ages, is better than what's inside. Speaking of what's kind of going down in price, not everything's up. Defo, Dimension Force, Therions we already talked about, that once Sprite got here, it was likely it would fall off. fall off it did, and they are going down, down, down in price. Visa Starfrost, also heavily speculated to be the next Albaz, has also come off those insane $20, $30 price points, chilling all the way down, almost back to $10. You can see the market price of $13. And the Scareclaw stuff getting a little hyped right now as people are on it as rogue. Exo Sisters did not pan out in our metagame so far overall, and with that lack of results coming in, a lot of those Starlights falling back out, and the cards themselves are too. I did warn that I thought it could end up like that, but player brain doesn't always translate to what will happen, or market brain. I'm just right this time, whereas a whole, sometimes I'm just dead wrong. Like Legendary Duelist, the Ocean one, I'm really right on, yeah? When we look at the 101 Honor Arc, I called out people. I got so much backlash on saying this was a bad Ghost Rare. The price is speaking for itself. I do like number cards. I do like upgrades on number cards. This already had a really cool ultimate rare though, and it's doing worse than the ultimate rare, which is really hilarious to me. I do think there will be some value displacement in the future of this set because Droplet is already staged to be reprinted in the 2022 Megatons, and whenever we see a top-end card deflate in value and lose a decent amount of value, sometimes that value goes elsewhere in the sets. And I do like Fish Engage, aka Fish Sonar, and I do like the Marincess deck casually, but it's taken a way bigger backseat from being good as Tearlament and Sprite showed up versus what it was doing before. Legendary Duelist Synchro Storm is an example of when I'm wrong. I thought this sealed would be pretty good, especially long-term, even though Legendary Duelist is no longer really legendary. It's Duelist pack with a Ghost Rare here, just like the OCG, and those Ghost Rares aren't panning out, and even with a $100 card, Baroness or Bust, you have 3 fan favorites in Speed Voids, Lyra Lusk, and then the Fleur stuff is kinda loved, and it's a rogue deck on Master Duel. 0 pan out for the set so far, and it keeps trying to bubble up. I've seen it like hit towards like 45, 47, 48 at times, and here it is back flat to 40 people saying take them, take them, take them. So again, Market Man can be very, very wrong on sets or very right, and Konami's kind of washed their hands of these Duelist packs as the Earth one has been split up, so who knows what's next for these. And speaking of Ghost Rares, also down bad is Ghost from the Past 2, mainly due to its quality control. When you can't even promise that your chase pulls are going to be okay, like huge roller line creases in the back, like we pulled on stream with Dark Arm Dragon, yeah, it's pretty cringe-worthy and not going to hold up to value. And nothing inside is worth all that much that you can even pull outside of those chases, despite the chase numbers being weighed up. They're still going to be damaged most likely, and when you're looking through everything else, there's tons of penny stonks to think about within the set that will probably age well, but will take time to age. And also, Ghost from the Past 1 is down. You see a little shoot up there, but I remember these being 130 for the longest, and the graph actually says like 124, etc. When Ghost 2 came out, it hyped it a little, then it came down as the hype deflated, and it's continued to kind of sink here lately with people bailing on this and trying to get into other things. So, what's the lesson here? Sealed isn't indefinitely always upward value, especially when the inside doesn't translate to that value, but sealed often can exceed versus what the value inside can be pulled. I do think that when it comes down to it, though, there's still going to be an element of risk no matter what you're going with, and there's not just all green profits, and there's even fluxes within those times where this could end up going back up if Ghost from the Past 3's announcements are bangers and they can get quality control under their belt, but good luck with that one versus the last couple of years. Torrential Tribute is getting a little bought out here, maybe thanks to bonus bucks back, so we see one at 54 before they're $60, and I think what this actually is, with Scapegoat getting a collector rare, the Smarties have gone backwards and said, alright, what else is in GOAT format, what else is in this rarity, what's going to be harder to get in a bit versus what's easier now. And this was super hyped on Inception. People really like how it looks. I remember the reveal being everybody going poggers, and this still floats back into current formats, kind of like Enemy Controller. So people going for this one, I gotta say that's a pretty solid choice for one to go for, and I see why they're doing it. A lot of it lines up and makes sense. And speaking of Tactical Masters coming out with that Scapegoat, There's still pre-sale on this screen, so people freaking out over the prices sticking. Wait for pre-sale to disappear, for competition to ramp up a couple days, and then we'll get a more realistic screenshot of what prices actually will be selling for versus you patting yourself on the back for those pre-sale deals. I think there's only so many among the collector rares that are deals, and a lot of the inside value will fall out. But these decks, overestimated, underestimated? Also let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I think overestimated as a whole so far, but I do agree there's a lot of long-term potential to some of these engines. But so is there for Lair, which actually did pan out at one point, but that's where you start mixing in player brain again. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation, and I'm gonna go rest my back some more. It hurts even to laugh. It's terrible, guys.